Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm using the Mama Elephant Photo Inspiration Challenge, and this is the card that I will be creating. I'm going to be using some Dreamweaver's embossing paste as well as some gelatos. I have 3 different colors here, light blue, dark blue, and a silver. It's metallic. I also picked up this spatula thingamajiggy from the Luna store, and it's used for embossing paste and acrylic paints. And these are the 2 different types. I wanted to show you both, but my red one here, which is my regular white embossing paste, you don't really see it there, but it's completely dried out. I went to go stick my spatula in there and it just was really hard and rough, so I ended up doing both of them with the translucent embossing paste, and it turned out very lovely. I figured I could tint it white if I needed to, using some white paint or maybe a white gelatos. So I'm taping down my piece of paper, and I'm going to be using the bubble stencils from Tim Holtz. I was going for kind of a rainy background, so I wanted to kind of have like dots or bubbles with my embossing paste. So after I've taped that down, I'm gonna take my gelatos, and gelatos work really well with embossing paste as well as water. They're really good if you want to watercolor with them or make a nice background, and they're really rich and creamy. So I'm just rubbing them on my non-stick craft mat here because I'm going to be mixing my embossing paste with them. So here's my translucent one, and this embossing paste kind of looks like, I want to say Elmer's glue, like the white glue you used to work with as a kid, with a little bit of a silly putty mixture to it. So it's an interesting texture. Maybe mine was just a little bit dried out. I've had it for a really long time, and I'm just actually starting to use it now. So I grabbed a little bit. You don't need too much to cover the whole surface, so keep that in mind when you're grabbing some embossing paste out of your jar, not to use too much, because once you pull it out, unless you put it in an airtight container, you have to throw it out. So I'm using just trying to get it to the color which I want as my background. So I'm just mixing it all in, and I'm not being too careful about blending in the dark blue too much. I kind of wanted to have some streaks in there. And then just like you would be spreading frosting on a cake or a cupcake, I'm just running it down the stencil, pushing it into the stencil softly, and getting it. You can get it as smooth as you want, but I wanted texture. So I was kind of playing around with getting some bumps and just uneven surface before I lifted my stencil off. And once you have it the way you want it, you just lift your stencil off and set it aside to dry. Ta-da! Isn't it pretty? And before I set it off to the side to dry, I wanted to add some glitter to it. I tried this around Christmas time with my white embossing paste, and all of my glitter fell off, and I think part of the reason why that is because it was drying out, hence why I couldn't use it at all today. So I'm just adding some glitter to certain areas, not all over it, just to get it some shine in the corners. And because my embossing paste wasn't dried out, I was able to, it didn't fall off, so that's good. That means it wasn't dried out like the other one. I wanted to show you a different stencil that I did here. I don't remember what the name of this one is, but I thought that this might be a nice texture to have kind of rain in the background, but I ended up going with the first one. I felt like these dots were too small and spread apart for what I was looking for, but I will definitely be using this piece in the future. And ta-da! So pretty once again. I kind of wanted it going from the right corner down to the left, and even, not perfect. So I set this aside to dry, and I'm going to start working on the rest of the elements of my cards. So I have a stamp set here from Mama Elephant. It's the Up and Away, and I have their coordinating dies, and I'm just going to be using the umbrella stamp. So I'm going to be, and die. So I'm using Archival Jet Black ink, and I'm going to stamp it on here about 3 times, because I want 3 different umbrellas kind of floating down from the sky. Once I stamped it out, I'm going to go through and pick out some distress inks that I want to use on my umbrellas. So I have Antique Linen, Antique Linen, Broken China, Peacock Feathers, and Bundled Sage. I felt like these colors went really well with the photo. So I'm just putting them on my acrylic block. I could have just put them straight onto my craft mat, but for some reason I felt like it'd be easier for me to stick them on my block. I guess it's just easier to clean up. So once I have all of my colors completely on there, I'm going to be taking, I have a mixture of water and Perfect Pearls, and I'm just going to spray it into the middle of all the colors. I didn't really want to start blending them, but I really wanted to have some shine in my umbrellas. And then using just a water brush, picking up some water and then grabbing some color, I'm painting my umbrellas. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can see me paint with the antique linen color in just a second. It's really easy to do. You can make the shading as dark as you want, as light as you want, and then by picking up the water with the brush and then painting it onto your umbrella, you're preventing the color in the water going absolutely everywhere. I haven't tried this paintbrush yet with water inside of it. That is my plan to do next, but I haven't done that yet. So just finishing off my umbrellas here. First one is kind of a mixture of peacock feathers and broken china. Second one is antique linen, and the last one here is bundled sage. I actually really like these three colors together. You could take the peacock feather right out. Broken china, bundled sage, and antique linen make a really nice background. So I'm just gonna line the die cut up now and run it through my bake shop machine. You can see the camera shake a little bit here, my craft mat and my desk. And once that is done, I'm just gonna pop it right out of the die, and I'm gonna continue and cut the last three of them out. See, isn't that nice and easy? So here are the two different backgrounds. Now that they're dry, you can see that they're shiny and they do have a what's the word I'm looking for? Height to them. So the surface is really nice and it's shiny, so it dries a lot shinier than the white. So I just got my regular card base here, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just gonna put it on my card front. I really like outlining things in black lately. And then I'm gonna take my other panel and dot it onto the front of my card, once again using the black as a bit of a border. So I always like to take the middle piece off and then stick it in my card, and then I'll go after and take off the corner pieces. I'm very bad at getting these things on straight. I have the tendency to never get them on straight. So here I am putting my umbrellas down, figuring out where I kind of want them, what order and the color. And as I was doing this, I was like, it needs something else. It needs a greeting. How am I going to do this? So I grabbed this stamp set from Mama Elephant. It's one of my most used because I love writing thank you cards. And I'm going to be using one of their pigment inks, and the rest are going to be Hero Art shadow inks. I'll list them all in the description below. I only ended up going with 3 colors. I think it was Mama Elephant Ocean, Mint Julep from Hero Arts, and Soft Pool. Kind of wanted a gradient effect. So I used the big bold thank you flag stamp, and so those are the 2 colors that I'm going to be going with, but you'll see as I cut it out that there's a bunch of other colors on there. I think that's cornflower, and the other one is tide pool. I'm not sure. I'll list them down below. So once I've cut them out, I made sure there's a little white border around them, Tomomona multi-glue, and just glued them, all of my pieces on my card, on my card. So there it is. It's actually really easy to put together once you got started. I think the colors really work well together, and I really like this card. I hope you guys like it too. You notice I put more glue on the left side of the thank you banner and kind of left the fishtail area kind of stand up. I don't know if that was planned or so that's pretty much my card. Thank you for watching my video. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see the dimension. That's the word I'm looking for, dimension. So you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out my blog because I always have new stuff up and running. And thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll be back again soon with another one. Thanks, bye.